Welcome back. I am here with Bachelor host extraordinaire Chris Harrison, and it is time to talk Bachelor in Paradise. Chris, thanks so much for your time today.
Things got off to a hot start last night, Lindsay, and it only gets more intense tonight.
I mean, how much more intense can it get? The premiere was a lot. Let's break it down, all right? So we saw Demi open up to Hannah about a woman that she's fallen head over heels for, and then we saw her with a woman in the season promo. So can you tell us a little bit about her journey of self-discovery on Paradise?
Yeah, we can dive a little bit into it. There are some things that you need to see happen before we get to that. But eventually, yes, we're going to follow Demi and kind of let her show us her relationship. And it is a same-sex relationship. And it is a beautiful story that Demi's going to be able to tell. And it is, I'm proud of it. And I love the way it organically happened and worked its way into the show. And kudos to her for letting us include that.
Absolutely,
But there are some things, as you saw last night, and you're going to see even more tonight, that kind of have to unfold before we can get to that point, so it'll all make sense.
Okay, but you know, even on that note, this is the first time that we've seen a same-sex coupling on the show, so can we hope to see more fluidity and inclusion in the future?
You know, I think the show evolves, and it has evolved since 2002, and it will continue to do so. I think the show has always been a microcosm of what's happening in society, and I think we're all getting a little bit better about expressing ourselves, embracing everything, and kind of the theme this season was embracing all kinds of love. Whatever it looks like to you, we're all there for it. And Demi is kind of the poster child of that this season, and I love it.
Yeah, me too. I'm here for it. And then we also find out that Blake and Kaylin had a thing prior to the show at Stagecoach. That did not end well. And then it turned out that he also slept with Christina the night before. And then she showed up in Paradise. So messy, messy, messy. How can we expect that drama to play out?
Yeah, we could probably put a little box on the bottom because he was texting with Hannah as well, apparently. So it was like a love quadrangle going on there. Boy, Blake has definitely made a messy bed coming into Paradise. So yeah, the whole Stagecoach debacle. I guess the big question is, Blake, what were you thinking? How did you think you were going to just sail into Paradise and everything was just going to be all calm and cool and everybody was just going to say, don't worry about it, bygones, you're a good guy?
Yeah.
That's not what happened. And obviously it started to boil last night. It's really going to boil over tonight.
I have to say, his face when he saw Christina come on the show was priceless. I was like, yes, yes.
Lindsay, he was like a little boy. He ran away. He ran into this area and was hiding behind a couch. He didn't know what to do with himself. It was so bizarre to watch. And then he finally realized, I'm either going to have to swim back to America or face the music.
And face the music, I hope he does. I mean, we talked about this a little bit, about him potentially being the villain of the season, but were you surprised that Christina used that first date card on Blake, or is it part of a ploy to get revenge on him?
Well, I was a little bit surprised, honestly, because when she came in, I didn't think that I knew she wanted to talk to Blake and handle this Kaylin situation because she wasn't sure who knew what as all of this happened. But I thought she would kind of slow play it. I didn't realize she was going to rip the Band-Aid off, go right at Blake. But good on her, by the way, to go right at him and have him answer to all this stuff. And again, Blake did not handle that situation well. He started to apologize, but then he got aggressive and he got mad about the fact that she was bringing it up. So again, not a well-handled situation by Blake.
Yeah.
There's many of those.
And now they're all trapped on an island together. I love it. Now, Chris Bukowski came out of retirement for the season. So what were your thoughts when you saw him come back?
Yeah, we got him off his scooter from the retirement home, dusted him off, and we brought out Bukowski. You know, who would have thought that Bukowski would be the wise old sage on the show? And it's really funny to see, you see a guy like Blake. Well, before Blake, there was a guy named Dean. Well, before Dean, there was a guy named Bukowski. And it's funny how history repeats itself. And you would think that these guys would maybe watch the show, learn from their past, learn from history, but they don't. And here we are with Blake making the same mistakes that Dean made, the same mistakes that Bukowski made. Yeah,
but so as you said, Dean was a bit of a player in Paradise with his Christina D-Lo triangle. Do you think that he has learned his lesson this time around?
He did not learn the biggest lesson of all, Lindsay, and that is nobody looks good in a mustache.
I was going to ask you about the stash. What is with the new stash?
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, Dean is a phenomenally good-looking guy, but even he's not good-looking enough. I mean, goodness gracious, look at that. It's like it's about to crawl off and attack Mexico.
There's only one person who looks good with a stash, and that is Tom Selleck. I'm just saying. I'm showing my age now, but that's my man. That's my man.
You are correct, and that is it. He's the only human being that can ever pull that off. Everybody else is just creepy. Stop it.
There you go.
But Dean definitely learned some lessons from the past in his own love triangles, and I'd like to think that he's going to come off a little bit better this season.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. Let's switch gears because I want to talk to you about Derek, John Paul Jones, and Blake. We see them all crying profusely in the promo. Can you give us any insight as to what that's all about?
A lot of man cry. Well,
Yeah.
You're going to see Blake break down tonight. I mean, you saw a little bit last night, but he really loses it tonight when all of his world comes crashing down. And here's the thing, Lindsay, he really thought he was going to come into paradise and be the popular guy. He was going to be that guy that all the women were going after. And really, if you listen to all the pre-interviews, that was going to be the case. All these women were going to go after him. But quickly they realized who he is and what he's been doing, and so his world came crashing down. As far as Derek and John Paul Jones, totally different subject, totally different breakdowns. And isn't it harsh and just horrible to see John Paul Jones cry? If there's ever a guy you don't want to see cry, it's like watching a puppy get hurt.
I know, but I kind of feel the same way about Derek because we've had him on our show before, and I just think he's one of the nicest humans I've ever met. So seeing both of them cry is like, oh, like I hope it's like Montezuma's revenge and not that someone like broke your heart.
Well, and I will say this is for Derek, and I don't want to give too much away because this obviously plays into Demi's story that you're going to see unfold in the next few weeks. But Derek is a champion, and he handled this situation that you're about to see come up in the next few weeks so well. True gentleman, and just did a really good job. So kudos to Derek. What you think of him is true. He's a good man. He
really, really is. Now, you're a good man, Chris, and you have been the host of the show since its inception. I've been watching you on TV with my mum since 2002, which is crazy. So I'm not sure that many fans could really imagine what the show would be like without you. But if you were to retire tomorrow and you had to pass the baton to a former contestant or a lead, male or female, who would you give your job to?
Wow, there's a long line of them hoping I just kick the bucket at any moment so they could take my job. That's really my job every season is I just bring on 30 more people that want to host this show.
Right.
But let's see, if I kick the bucket, who would be the new host?
No, not if you kick the bucket. If you decide to just retire and like put your feet up and take some well-needed you time. Not if you die. You have a dark mind like me. I like that.
I took it to a very morbid place. Let's see. Yeah, I think there's a long line of people that would be really good. I think after me, you might want to just start going season to season of who would fit well with that person. As a producer, that's probably what I would do. I would rotate it depending on who's close and who could have a good rapport with that bachelor or bachelorette. Yeah,
because what you do, I mean, you're not just a TV host. Like, you're a psychologist, you're a counselor, you're a magician in a lot of ways, you're a puppet master in some ways. I mean, you are a jack of all trades, and you've just been doing such a great job. So I hope that your retirement is nowhere in the near future.
Always a pleasure, Lindsay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Go get some sleep.